We have details from last night's town council meeting on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, January 8th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mantle. Town Council votes to renew Finance Director Mark Milne's contract. Town Manager Tom Lynch encouraged the council to support the move before the vote.
We discussed, and we both discussed the idea of a contract extension, and I felt it would be beneficial to the town for that, and he personally felt it might be beneficial to him. Quite frankly, they were a little nervous about security through the transition, and I think he was looking to extend that, and I thought that that was something that we could afford him. So, you know, when I look at the evaluation process, I always review things that have happened during the year that he took positive steps on, and then also I look at the the areas of leadership, planning and organization, communication, problem solving, and decision making. And I think that if you in your heads went through each of those areas and thought of the times that you've raised a problem, a concern with our finance director, he provides the leadership we need on our budgetary and finance issues. He's organized and plans ahead and anticipates problems. The communication, I think, is almost his strongest point in being able to take very complex financial issues, digest them, not just for each of us, but for the general public. So I think that when they see a presentation, he's not using the numbers to confuse folks, but he's really using those numbers to inform them about what is in the budget and why we're doing what we're doing. So I've stated publicly before, and I've put in his evaluation, that I think he's one of the finest public servants that I've ever worked with, and I would urge that you can extend this multiple-year contract an additional 2.5 years, which will, from this date, give him forward a 5-year contract.
And the council voted unanimously to renew Milne's contract through 2020. Assistant Town Manager Mark Ells updated the council last night on the ongoing discussion with state officials regarding the shooting range.
So, as we continued our discussions, the area of the range became not only the range, the physical range as it exists today, but also where the historic lead shot was identified. And you can see that the higher concentration area, the blue area is the 16.3 acres, the yellow area is the higher concentration area, and the red area is a lower concentration, but an area still that contains lead. So we said that that's really our lead management area. We began discussions with the state because they said, well, if you can reconfigure the shape of the 16.3 acres, can you keep all of the lead within it? And therefore be able to continue with the swap as proposed, 16.3 acre for a 17 acre parcel. And we found that for the higher concentration lead in the range, we could. But when we looked at the larger lead deposit area, we could not. We were more in the area of 27 acres. And that's really where the discussion ended with the state, primarily because the state had said to us that we needed to find 27 acres now, not 16.3 acres. We made an argument with them that the value of the 17-acre parcel on Breeds Hill Road was greater than the 16.3, not only because of its location. It was a general municipal use located in a commercially developed area. Looking at from our assessor's standpoint, the per acre value was greater. And now with this additional information, we have a 27 acre site that has lead on it, which would further devalue that area. And so those are the discussions since our October meeting that we have been having with the state. The state pretty much is held with the same position. And their position, through Mr. O'Connor, is that the value that they're talking about is the value as conservation land and open space, not the monetary value. And therefore, they're looking for a acreage and a value from a conservation and open space standpoint that is equal to whatever acreage we propose from West Barnstable. And they still hold with that. We've asked for a meeting with Mr. O'Connor, the head of MEPA, the secretary, Beaton, and he's in the process of organizing that meeting. And so we can continue this discussion. But I think it's important that you know that position hasn't changed. So we really need to think about how that will play into moving forward with this issue. Other issues that are important, I've really covered that land swap. I don't know that I need to say a lot more. If we could have somehow reconfigured the parcel so that it would still stay 16.3 acres, just in a different shape, we wouldn't have to go back through MEBA. At this point, if we jump to 27 acres, and two other speakers that will follow me will be Director Santos and Director Poyant, both on different subjects, but Director Santos has had discussions with DEP about this. He has actually come forward with a comprehensive site assessment proposal that, in moving forward with this longer term, needs to be considered. And then the more recent groundwater assessment that we've done out there, that was as recently as today, I believe, in the Cape Cod Times. But I'll let him summarize those things. So backing up to this MEPA review, I believe that DEP is not going to let us leave a portion of this historic lead outside of the shooting range. And included in your folders that I've given you is this presentation. There's the groundwater assessment. I know we emailed it to you, but I gave you a hard copy of it. There's a summary of Director Poyant's survey that we've done. And then there's the lead initiative, which is really an interesting umbrella that protects shooting ranges in Massachusetts. And this is an agreement between the state and advocacy groups for shooting ranges, which basically says, yes, we recognize that there's lead on these sites. And as long as they remain shooting ranges and as long as they're being managed responsibly, it can exist. And so that's a really important factor that later on, when we start our discussion of different management alternatives, I think we need to come back to. So that's in place. So bottom line is we can do a land swap. State's looking for really acre for acre swap. They haven't moved from that position. The MEPA review, if we move to 27 acres, we will have to back up, and I'll have to get a determination from MEPA whether we can modify the previously filed ENF or whether we need to just file another ENF. We did it internally last time. I don't know that it would be any different this time.
And Al says he will meet again with state conservation officials next week to continue discussions on the reopening of the West Barnstable shooting range. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 8 a.m. On Monday's show, we will talk with Town Manager Tom Lynch. We'll talk with Interim Superintendent of Schools Bill Butler. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.